Okay, it's 6 o'clock, February 18th, 2013, so it's time to call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the San Felipe Del Rio CISD. Mr. Overfield, we have a quorum, correct?
Yes, sir, we do.
Let the record show that a quorum of the board members is present, that this meeting's been duly called, and that notice of this meeting's been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, if you'd stand for opening ceremonies. First, a moment of silence to reflect in your own way. Now the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
How are you?
Ms. Falcone, if you'd make a note, Dr. Keyes has arrived, so it's a full board. That brings us to agenda item 4, public comments. Is anyone registered? Okay, no public comments at this time. That brings us to agenda item 5, information items. First one being A, African American Heritage Committee Art and Essay Prize Presentation. Presenter Janet Johnson, Staff Sergeant Westley, and Sergeant Smith.
Mr. Galbraith, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board, we have the pleasure to have Mrs. Johnson here. She is the school liaison for Laughlin Air Force Base. She works very close with us, so we will have her up here to present.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. This is our second year that we have offered the invitation to the San Felipe Del Rio schools to participate in an art contest and an essay contest, just linking the community and providing more exposure on different ethnicities. So at this time, we would like to present the winner of the essay contest, which was $100, and to the winner who is here, and then as well to the second place winner and Mr. or Mrs. Barrera. If you could come up, please. And which was $75. And then we also have the winners of the Ruben Chavira Elementary School for the art contest, and we will provide those on behalf of the school. So, you can come this way. This is the second place winner, David Arredondo. Congratulations, and thank you for a great job. And then the first place winner,
Carolina Butella.
Monteo. Yes.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And I'll make sure she gets it to her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of Ruben Chavira Elementary, sir, would you accept these?
Is Mr. Perez here? Mr. Perez is here.
Oh, there he is. Hello, sir.
Okay, our third place winner was Raven Bouzier. Yes, we are. And then she won $50. And then our second place winner for the art is Angela Rivas, and she won $25. I'm really gonna mess this one up, and I'm sorry. Okay, it's our first place winner. Okay, I did it backwards. Okay, and it's Snebo Akawalde. Okay, so he's the first winner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice. That brings us to agenda item 5B, recognition of Irene Cardwell Elementary staff and Policy Council for receiving the Pre-K Center for Excellence Award by the Texas Education Agency. Presenter, Linda Webb.
Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, board members. Thank you. Ms. Oyama just presented you with a brochure that we have quickly added our banner to the brochure and a copy of the certificate to Mr. Garabedian. The Texas Education Agency, in partnership with the Regional Education Service Center, Region 17, thanks us, the Head Start program, and this is what it read: thanks you for your participation in the Kinder Readiness System, which is called KRS. The KRS is the state's school readiness certification system authorized by the Texas Education Code 29.161 that evaluates the effectiveness of pre-kindergarten, Head Start, and the licensed child care programs in preparing children for kindergarten. KRS is used by the state of Texas to recognize excellence and determine high-quality early education programs. High-performing programs are awarded the Pre-Kinder Center of Excellence, a state of Texas gold standard for high-quality pre-kindergarten. And that's the award that our campus was fortunate to receive. And with me today are several teachers, so I don't know if I can ask them to come up and be recognized. So all the staff that's here from Cardwell, if they would come up. And if we have any policy council friends. Y'all can get up there. Up on, yeah. No, I'm still speaking. Ms. Romo?
All right, how are you?
So, on behalf of our campus, I know we were very fortunate to have received this award from TEA. It's something that has never happened to Head Start before. So, on behalf of our staff and our policy council, we want to thank you, the board, for your support in everything and all the endeavors that we at Head Start try to achieve to prepare our students during the day and the year to get them ready for kinder. We want to especially thank Dr. Keys, because we also participate at the university level with our science, and we're always looking at ways to expand and make the program better so that our students will be better prepared for kindergarten. So, Mr. Garabedian, members of the board, Dr. Ackerman, thank you so much for the district support and the governing body support. So.
Good work.
It's very impressive. Congratulations again. Very good. That brings us to agenda item 5C, facilities and operations update. First one being Ruben Chavira Elementary construction update. Presenter, Mr. Miguel Salinas and John Graves. I believe Mr. Salinas is not here, so it's just Mr. Graves.
Good evening, board members. I'd like to bring you on an update on the Chavira Elementary School. The contractor is moving along pretty good now. The exterior of the building is about 99% complete. They finished a lot of the grading on the outside. They still have cleanup to do, relocating some of the temporary construction fences. And the inside is starting to look more like a gymnasium. The flooring is finished with the exception of the baseboard, which is going in this week. And there are some wall pads that'll be coming in pretty soon. The gymnasium itself, the painters were doing touch-up painting when I was over there Friday, and they're installing fixtures in the toilet rooms. This is a view of the upstairs mezzanine. I'd say about half of the fixtures were installed when I was over there Friday. They still have some pieces of ceramic tile that are on back order that are coming in. You can see one missing there in the center of the photograph. Toilet partitions are in. About half of the toilets are installed. The gymnasium, just talking with Mr. Salinas and Jim Smith with Templeton, it looks like we ought to be able to start utilizing the gymnasium itself maybe Friday of this week on it. It looks like the bathrooms may or may not quite be done, but they're using the playground areas without bathrooms out there now. It should be, if they're not finished Friday, it'll be the first part of next week. But we wanted to try to get the kids in there as soon as possible on it. At least they can run around and play, and if it ever rains, they'll have a place to get out of the weather. This is the administration area. It's still pretty much, the demolition has been completed. They're putting things back together on it. It's hard to believe from the photograph, but things are going back in. They started sheetrocking this past week, and the air conditioning people were installing the new ductwork. But it's starting to come along real well. I'm going to say they probably have about another 3 or 4 weeks on the inside of that building to get all of the offices complete on it. We are still studying and getting prices on security at the lobby, from the front entry doors to the administration offices. On our plans, we had 2 of the corridors partitioned off for security, and we're looking at the north hallway, partitioning that off also. Installing controls on the doors, automatic locks on those. The main entry doors will have mag locks on those, and we're getting prices on the rest of the security on there. We're looking at about maybe 5 or 6 cameras, monitor, and so as we gather this information, we'll get back to the board with it on there. Are there any questions on Chavira?
Mr. Overfeld?
Not a question, but a comment. I guess it was 3 weeks ago or so, I was out for the first time looking at it. And just about as we went out and looked at the gym, and it was still bare concrete slab, and they were doing the first stages of painting. I was blown away then at just how big the gym is, and I'm just really impressed. And then to see Now with the floor in, that just awesome. The kids are going to be super excited. And then we got to go through. He showed me the new library edition that they just moved into, and I still think the glassed-in walkway is the coolest thing out there. Just personally, I know Miss Haynes was out there today, I think, and got to see it too. So very impressive. Very
Good, good. I think when everything's finished, it'll turn out real nice.
Are we through with that one, that item?
I think we're through with that
Okay.
one, if there are no
Other questions for that one? That brings us to the Bank and Trust Ramfield Construction update. Again, Mr. Graves presenting.
Thank you. They've started doing some cleanup work around the field. This is where we had the dedication. They had it all torn up a couple of weeks ago. Now they've gone through, cleaned up everything. Most all of the backstop is installed with the exception of a little bit over on the upper left-hand side, which they might have gotten complete this weekend on it. The school is coming in sometime this week and seeding the bare areas with grass. Hopefully, we'll have some grass in there for the first game. The contract on this job goes through April the 6th. We are trying to get this finished by March the 4th for the first game. At least the field, the backstop, the bleachers will not be in, but they can bring lawn chairs according to the coaches for the first game. The contractor has been working on weekends trying to get everything finished for this on it. If we can get some grass growing in there, well, then they ought to be able to play baseball on it. Have another 3 or 4 weeks, get the bleachers in. For March the 4th, they'll probably have the roofing installed. All the concrete on the floors poured on it, the press box. The lighting will be hooked up. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to get the scoreboard to work. And there's a temporary electrical service out there, and we may have to do something on it because the panels for the scoreboard and the low voltage will not be in until sometime the latter part of March on it.
Ms. Lozano?
This is a view where the bleachers will go with the toilet rooms and concession there on the left-hand side. They had a welding inspection last week, and some of the welds did not pass, and so they're working on that this week on it. The structure underneath that canopy is the press box area. One of the things that, looking at doing the perimeter wall on the outside, Laughlin Air Base is going to donate some labor on it, and I talked to Mayor Fernandez last week, and there are a few things that we'll get the contractor to do, and get them to come in and paint on it. I may be a little bit ahead of things on it, but I think in discussions with Mayor Fernandez, I think everybody was in agreement on that. This is the storage building on the north end, and that's one of the dugouts. And this is a press box. And that'll be the concession room right there. So they're coming along pretty good on it. Are there any questions?
Ms. Lozano
I
has,
just have, actually, one comment and one question. Question being, you mentioned that the school is gonna go out there and plant some, or seed it. Will the trucks be driving over that area?
No, they have, we got all the trucks out of there. They did have a little bit more grading. There was still some gravel in there they needed to clean up. And once if they got that, backstop on that other section on there this weekend, then there should not need to be any other, vehicles on that.
We were out there yesterday. It is, everything's pretty much, done except for that higher level.
Right, right.
Off of the right, the first field, the first base side. Then comment, in looking at the drawings, it wasn't as obvious that those poles would be so substantial. They're huge. They really do block your view.
They do.
Yes, I don't know, have you been out there to?
They do. The poles, the ones that were out there before were 4-inch, or actually they were 4.5-inch, and these are 6-inch because we're carrying a bigger canopy on it. So they are a little bit bigger than what was out there before.
Comment.
We couldn't get our engineer to make them smaller.
other questions or comments for Mr. Graves? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're now on agenda item 5D, information report on the status of health insurance fund. Presenter, Mr. John Rolfs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. See some familiar faces, see some new faces. Welcome. Thank you. I believe in your board packet you should have gotten 4 sheets, and we'll start with the first one that gives you a recap of the 2011-2012 plan year. Our medical plan runs on a 9-1 to 9-1 basis, and for the new members, it is a self-funded plan. We do have specific and aggregate stop loss to protect us on exceedingly large claims. We have 4 plans, but only 2 of them are in use right now. You'll see that there's the basic plan and the high plan. The basic plan has the bulk of the participants, 92% of the medical participants. We have an HDHP, a high deductible health plan. Attached to that plan is a health savings account arrangement, but since you have to meet a $1,250 deductible before anything is paid, we do not have any participants in that plan, even though the school district would contribute $25 toward the HSA account if they joined. And then the 4th one is the state plan. That sort of mirrors the the TRS Active Care Plan 3, and we've never had anybody in that plan simply because it's too benefit rich and costs too much money. As you can see, the total contributions for the previous plan year was $7.7 million. Our total claim figure was $5.9 million. And then we had administrative cost, which is your stop loss and life premium, and your plan administrative cost of about $1.1 million. So we had total plan cost of a little over $7 million. And therefore, the plan ran a surplus last plan year of $720,000. If you look at the plans by themselves, the basic plan performed quite well. The high plan had a significant deficit. This is to be expected because the high plan is a benefit-rich plan, plus if people know they need health care, they're going to go and adversely select against the high plan. We received stop loss reimbursements of $736,000, adding that to the surplus and the balance that to begin the year of 3.3 million. We finished the year with 4.792 million surplus. In the notes, one of the things that I always like to point out, we had 9 claimants, 9 individuals who had claims of over $50,000. The total amount of those claims were 1.65 million, and that represented 1/3 of all the medical claims. 9 claimants represents 1/2 of 1% of the total plan participants. There are a little over 1,800 plan participants at this time. I think it's 1,802. Any questions about plan year 11-12 before we move forward to the current plan year?
Ms. Lozano has a question.
Do our plans include any kind of case management or medical management for those high claims?
Yes, we have case management for all our high claimants. What TML will do is once someone has to pre-certify a hospital admission, that's usually your first indication, they will immediately look at what the diagnostic codes are and determine if this is a high dollar risk case, and if it is, they will immediately start case management for us.
Thank you.
One other thing that I'll just point out, if you look going across after the big figures, you'll see a little smaller figure, which is the cost per employee per month. So the total plan cost per employee per month was $468.69. You might want to know how that compares to norms and whatnot. That's very good. We're way below the average. The national average is several $100s more per employee per month. The second sheet is just a snapshot of the current plan year through 4 months. So it's a limited amount of data. Currently, we are showing a nice surplus, but don't count on that as we go forward, because that figure can go up and down quite rapidly. One of the things that I did here is you can see the cost per employee per month for the first 4 months this year, and you can compare it to the cost of the 2011-2012 plan year, even though that is on a 12-month basis. Any questions?
Does that mean less people are getting sick?
Well, we'd like to hope so. I think one of the things that is happening is that we don't have as many really sick individuals. You remember the comment about the 9 individuals and 33% of the claims? Well, if you just take that up to 3 or 4% of all plan participants, you jump your total claim amount up into the 75, almost 80 percentile. That's where all the dollars in health care go, is to the chronic and catastrophic claims. And it's not unique to this school district. It's common across the entire universe.
Oh, we have a stop loss for that.
Yes, we have a stop loss policy. The deductible is $185,000, so we're responsible for the first $185,000 of claims on any one individual. After that, the stop loss carrier picks up the balance. And we also have what's called an aggregate stop loss, and that covers the whole plan in the aggregate in case something earth-shattering would happen. We're large enough that we shouldn't have anything happen in terms of an aggregate.
Hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too. The third page gives you a snapshot of the last 8 plan years, so that you can just go across and see how the plan has grown in terms of plan income and claims and administrative expenses. And how we pretty much reached our net operating gain, you can see there in the first 4 years we had some pretty good losses. In the last 4 years we've had some good, solid, positive years. And you'll notice too that down at the bottom, the number of employees on the medical plan has varied very little. So we have a pretty stable plan. And we are now in the 5th year of no employee increases to the plan. 2012, 2013. When I put that up next year, it'll have a none under it too.
Thank you. And that's impressive in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
Everywhere.
I appreciate the thanks, but I think a great deal of thanks needs to go to Dr. Ackerman here, because she's worked with this plan for a long time, and one of the things that she always did was make sure it was properly funded.
Thank you, Dr. Ackerman.
Thank you.
The final sheet is just a comparison of your plan to the TRS Active Care plan. And I might add, by the end of the week, this sheet will be outdated. TRS is meeting this week, and they will announce any plan changes they have for the next plan year, and they will also announce their rate increases. And I've heard rumors that the rate increases for their high deductible plans will be in the single digit, probably 4-6% area. And for the other two plans, TRS Plan 2, which has about 81% of the total participants, and Plan 3, it'll be double-digit increases. Anywhere from 11 to 14% is what I'm hearing. I'm not aware of any plan changes, but I have suspicion that there'll probably be a few plan changes. That's going to be painful for a lot of folks. Are there any questions that I can answer regarding the handouts or just the plan in general, since several of you are new to the board?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now on agenda item 5E, information on notice of grant award for the Carl D. Perkins Grant 2012-2013 maximum entitlements. Presenter, Mr. Roger Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board. I'm here to present the notice on the grant for the Carl Perkins Grant for this school year 2012-2013. Carl Perkins is a primary federal funding for career and technical education, also known as CTE. TA reallocates unobligated Perkins funding to LEAs after all plan amounts, and the reallocation funds come from unexpended prior year's funds and current year unawarded funds. And this year, our school district is receiving an additional $15,102. Previously, we had $161,717, which brings the total to $176,819. In comparison to last year's amount was $10,159 as reallocated. So there is an increase on funding from last year to this year of $12,208. Any questions?
Question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez. Agenda item 5F, attendance rates to date by school. Mr. Luna presenting. Mr. Casillas presenting?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Casillas presenting in place of Mr. Luna.
Mr. Luna is in attendance at a task bowl conference, so he asked me to just stand in and see if there's anything that I might be able to answer, any questions for you. I believe that you have, and good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board, please excuse my loss of memory there for a minute. But but I know that he did indicate that he did present the documentation for your packet, so you have that. And the only thing that I did different today was, on this particular sheet, I asked them to remove down here at the bottom for last year, the information so that you could actually see a year-to-date comparison of the 2 years. So it just kind of gives you a good picture of where the campuses are this year in comparison to the same point that they were last year. So that's the only difference in this one. Other than that, all of the other documentation that you have there is in there. I know he has all of the enrollments, the enrollment counts for you. Are there any questions or anything that perhaps I might be able to answer, or certainly at least
Mr.
note
Milsa
for him?
has a comment.
I just wanted to acknowledge the staff, administration, and faculty at Freshman for their efforts, because they have made gains from the previous year. And then also note for Lamar, the just outstanding attendance averages, and just want to thank them for all the efforts that go behind that.
Still number one, Mr. Yulin.
I think he had the rankings, correct?
What's that?
Is that different from this year? January, what we have versus January what's there? Lamar 9771.
It's the same.
Okay.
No, but they're looking, he's talking about the month. Yes.
Not year to date.
Right, this is January, the other one had the year-to-date, with all of the months accumulated. Okay, are there any questions, comments? Thank you.
No questions about the attendance? That brings us to G, discipline report to date by school. Campus principals presenting.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board. I will be presenting, first of all, starting off with our campuses, our elementary. A compilation of all of the disciplinary reports for all of our 7 campuses. And at the end, we do have all of our representation for all the different campuses here in case you do have any questions. We'll be starting off with Buena Vista Elementary, and they reported for the month of January 3 violations of the conduct code. That's the offense, and their actions out of those 3 were out-of-school suspensions. Moving on to Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary, they had 2 offenses reported, violation of conduct code, and their disciplinary actions were detention for both. Moving on to Ruben Chavira Elementary, their violations, we have 11 counts for violations of conduct code, 4 for insubordination, and 1 for truancy. Their actions, 1 count on truancy, 4 corrective counseling, and 11 lunch detentions. Moving on to Garfield Elementary, they reported 4 cases of violation of conduct code and 3 for insubordination. And their discipline actions, they had 1 out-of-school suspension, 2 corrective counseling, 3 removal of privileges, and 1 lunch detention. Dr. Lonnie Elementary, they reported a total of 46 violations of conduct code. And the breakdown of discipline actions are as follows: 1 out-of-school suspension, 5 detentions, 4 parent conferences, 16 corrective counseling, 1 partial day out-of-school suspension, 1 removal of privileges, 5 after-school detention, and 9 lunch detention. Moving on to Lamar Elementary, we have 6 violations of conduct code, 1 case of insubordination, and 2 cases of fighting. The actions: 2 in-school suspension, 1 parent conference, and 6 corrective counseling. Moving on to North Heights Elementary, they reported 7 counts of violation of conduct code, and their actions are: 1 out-of-school suspension, 1 place off of AEP, 3 detentions, and 3 corrective counseling. And that takes us to the end of our 7 elementary campuses. Any questions?
Your questions? And we have elementary principals in attendance. Mr. Chavira, you have a question? Or Dr.
On the out-of-school suspensions, what do you do with them when they come back? Do we cancel with them? Do they make up the work, et cetera?
Absolutely, and that would be a case-by-case scenario, Mr. Chavira, and once a child is taken out for out-of-school suspension, when they do return, there are possibility, an array of options from counseling to make up their work and so forth. We usually do meet with them just to make sure that we touch base and reflect on what they did and why they actually had to go and stay home so that they can have a good transition back into campus.
And the parent, do you meet with them?
That is at the time of given the consequence, absolutely. Yes, sir.
You kind of answered the question. I just want to know what the corrective counseling was. Do you get the parent involved as well? But you did, you touched base with it, so I'm okay.
Okay. Dr. Keys, we keep missing you. You had something to add or a question?
Yes.
Sorry.
But after Amy.
I did.
She did. Go ahead.
I'm looking at the numbers, just very impressive and all, but however, the numbers of Lonnie Green just don't jive. We had 46 offenses, but there's only 42 actions. Did 4 kids disappear?
No, what happens, may I speak?
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. What happens is that if the action or the offense happened, let's say January 31st, but the consequence was given in February,
Right.
that's where it,
Okay.
okay.
Just want to make sure that, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think so.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Garabee and Dr. Ackerman and members of the board. I'm here to present the offense and action for San Felipe Memorial. As you can see, we had 21 for the violation of the Student Code of Conduct, and then we did have 44 for the Code 40, which is insubordination. I do want to make note that 25 of these were bus referrals, and so I know it seems like it's a high number, 44, but 25 of them were referrals from bus conduct. Okay, on the actions, we'll start off over here. We have 2 that were out of school suspension, 9 in school suspension, 7 detention, 1 was placed on a contract, 6 had parent conferences, 18 have corrective counseling with either myself or our counselors or Mr. Ramos, 1 partial day OSS, and then we have 4 partial day ISS. 6 of those are access privileges removed. Those are going to be when the student has a repeated bus referral. We do remove the privilege of them being able to ride the bus for either 3 days or 5 days. And then we have 3 for lunch detention. And so this is the report for San Felipe Memorial Middle School. Do you have any questions?
What do you do? Sorry.
Mr. Chavira?
What do you do with the lunch detention? What do
Well,
they eat?
what they do is they actually eat in the office or they'll eat in the ISS room. These three particular students decided one day that they wanted to throw some food, and so they had lunch detention. And, oh, I also do want to note that every single one of these, there were 65 offenses. I do make parent contact with every single one of those parents. And it's noted on their office referral, phone number, date, and time that I talked to them.
Dr. Keys?
And I take it there's 10 of them that are still awaiting actions, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Lozano?
Just a quick question. For those that are not allowed to ride the bus for 3 or 5 days, have you made any, have you recognized or realized that these children are not coming to school because?
No, they still attend.
Okay. I was
And
just
let's say I
making
get a bus referral today, I allow them to ride the bus that day. I make contact with parents to make them aware of the upcoming situation. If I couldn't get a hold of them, then I wait another day until I am able to make contact with them.
I just didn't want the student.
And that is only if it's a repeated situation.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board. I'll be presenting for Del Rio Middle School. Okay, I'm going to go over the offenses for the month of January. We had 6 students for a controlled substance. We had 15 students for conduct code. We had 114 students for insubordination, and we had 4 students for fighting, which was a total of 2 fights. The actions were, we had 14 students that were placed out of school, suspension. We had 9 students that were in in-school suspension, 9 students that were placed at SGLC. We had 57 students that were in detention and 57 students that were also corrective counsel. Do I have any questions?
Okay. And this was opposite. You had more actions than there were offenses. I guess it's a carryover from the previous
month.
Yes, sir. What happens is if it's January the 31st, it carries over.
I just want to make sure no kids go unpunished. Good.
Ms. Lozano has a question.
I just have a question. How do you determine for all of those insubordinations, who gets what punishment? Not punishment, I'm sorry, consequence.
Well, it's on a case-by-case basis, ma'am, depending on what they do.
Could you give me an example?
For example, if a student is just being, not letting the teacher teach, being disruptive in class, that would be insubordination. And if the teacher has already counseled with the student, called the parent, the counselors have already talked to them, that's when they come to us, and then that's when we issue a consequence, which would be, maybe a day in ISS or depending on a case-by-case
I just
basis.
noticed that 50% of, I just assumed, maybe I shouldn't have done that, of the insubordination, 50% were in detention and 50% were the corrective counseling office.
The students that are in detention are corrective counsel as well.
The detention is run by our counselors.
Okay.
So they take that opportunity to talk to the students during that time period that they're there. That's why it doubles up.
Other questions? Mr. Chavira?
What about on the controlled substances, you don't expel them?
No, sir.
Controlled substances up here on the first one, those 4 or 6 cases that you had. What do you do with them?
They are placed at the Student Guidance and Learning Center. We do have a level 1 conference, and at that time, our recommendation is for placement. and they are placed at,
Go through the process.
yes, sir, we go through a level 1 conference.
Other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, and members of the board. I'm representing Del Rio Freshman School, and I'll be presenting the discipline report for January. As far as the offenses, we had 31 violations of the student code of conduct, one terroristic threat, which was later reduced to a violation of the student code of conduct because it went to level 2. It was that case that was the last day of before the Christmas break that we went into a lockout and we had law enforcement. There was a threat against our school. So I think that was moved by the level 2 hearing. Then we had 3 cases of insubordination at freshmen. The consequences or actions were 1 out-of-school suspension. We're trying to keep that as low as possible. We had 8 in-school suspensions, 11 detentions, which can be lunch detention or after-school detention, or maybe all-day detention. And we had 14 corrective counseling, which can be done by the administration or the counselor. And 2 partial day out-of-school suspension. That usually happens when there's confrontation during the day, and we call the parents, and we tell them to take their kids home to cool off before they fight near the end of the school or the remainder of the day. So that's the report for Del Rio Freshmen for January. Have any questions?
Questions? Thank you.
Chavira does.
Oh, Mr. Chavira does. Sorry.
Not on this, but just a comment, I was on campus today, and it was wonderful. There was nobody in the hall, did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, school board members. I'll be doing the presentation for discipline at Del Rio High School this evening. Breakdown by our offenses, we had 2 controlled substances. We had 16 code of conducts. 2 of those were at SGLC. And we have 45 insubordinations. One of those was at SGLC, so one was 44 wires. And we had 2 gentlemen fighting, 1 fight. So we had 1 action. Our actions on those, we had 3 out-of-school suspensions, we had 3 in-school suspensions, 5 placement at SGLC, we had 18 in detention, 1 parent conference, and 32 corrective counselings. Any questions?
Questions or comments? This is the last one. We have the principals and many of the APs here. Has a chance.
I better ask mine.
Okay, go.
Josh, you want to go first?
No, I'm saying, I was pointing to you.
Go
You
ahead.
had one.
Well, it really doesn't pertain to high school, but I'm always looking at SGLC because they get in trouble, at one school and then they end up in Student Guidance and Learning Center.
Yes, sir.
And then, they get suspended, or they commit another violation.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed that there were 2 out of your group here that had a code of conduct, violation code of conduct.
Yes, sir.
I just, again, I'm zooming in on SGLC because of the percentage, again, we send them over there, it's a smaller area, they're confined to a smaller environment, we do have security and certified personnel and so forth. And I just want to find out, during the time that they commit, another violation of code of conduct, are they being well supervised? I mean, and again, this is a question not for you, but, SGLC.
And the administrator in charge is Mr. Menchaca, correct? Is he here?
Right there.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. President, Garfield and Dr. Ackerman. I'm Mr. Menchaca, Ramon Menchaca. I'm an assistant principal at SGLC. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir, and again, thank you for being in attendance. We come to the secondary campuses, and it's, the question from me has been, we send them to, or the administration from the secondary campuses, send them to be at the Student Guidance and Learning Center. And for some reason, they end up getting in trouble again once they're confined to a smaller environment. We have certified personnel, and yet, another additional consequence has been added at SGLC. What has happened? Let's say for these two cases that were referred to from the high school, there were two that had a violation.
At the high school, well, we have them there.
Right. No, but I'm saying they got in trouble at the high school. They're sent over to SGLC, and they got in trouble there.
I would have to see which were those individuals, those students. I mean, so I can look back to see.
And the reason I was asking that, Mr. Menchaca, is because there's been a trend that, again, they're sent because they got in trouble.
Yes,
and
sir.
then they get in trouble at the SGLC, which is a smaller confined area, less students, per teacher.
Yes.
And, they end up being suspended.
Okay.
And it becomes costly for the campus because, again, attendance is affected not at SGLC, but it goes back to the campus, the home campus. And so, another infraction that they have to deal with.
Well, it's another infraction they have to deal with, and
Additional days.
Additional days, yes, sir. And what it is, when they go to the SGLC, okay, that's like the last chance that they're gonna have, and we are stricter there. I mean, we try to keep them in line, but some of the students that really get in trouble, they're the ones that the parents, they're under medication and things like that, and their parents do not give them the medication because they feel like it's going to be in a confined place where, everybody that's there are troublemakers. I want my child to be able to defend themselves. And, which is bad, and, we talk and we counsel to the parents, don't mess, don't take away their medication because,
Right, I understand. The only thing is, again, I wouldn't want the campuses to suffer because, again, what happens is they have a loss of attendance now added, to their campus because either they get sent home or more days are added to their stay at your campus.
We counsel with them, and we keep on counseling them, and we try to keep them as straight as we can. But sometimes they do really get in trouble that something has to be done. Something has to be done.
I understand. I just, again, somehow my message, I want it to be, I hope you have more control of the students that are sent to you, because we're seeing a trend where, again, more students are getting in trouble at SGLC. And the consequence goes back to the home campus.
I don't understand about how they get more in trouble at SGLC. We try our best, and our security is, to us is the best in the district, and we try to keep them as well-behaved and things like that, and they're counseled and they're counseled and they're counseled, but
Well, do you understand what I'm saying? I mean,
Yes.
let's say high school sends you their students that got in trouble.
Mhm.
And they got in trouble over there. In a smaller environment, in a more confined area, and there's less movement,
yeah,
between
but
classes.
most of the time when they get in trouble, it's because they meet again, and they meet with whoever, they have problems with. I mean, gang members and things like that. So, I mean, they have it against each other, and so they do get in trouble.
Well, then, there's gotta be a plan to keep them apart and separate.
Oh, we do, we do,
those
yes.
things. But I'm saying, we're looking at those things. I don't wanna be negative towards, the administration there. The only thing is, we're seeing this trend where the
Yes, sir.
campuses are defending,
No, no,
again, their suspensions and out-of-school and in-school suspensions. But I'm still seeing where something has to be justified, either training or something that needs to occur to stop the violations from recurring.
We do need more training, and we need more help, security-wise. We do need that. Because right now, our security is the one that takes them to the cafeteria, serves the cafeteria and things like that. And if we would have another security guard to be amongst the kids when they're sitting down, that would help discipline-wise. We need more help. We need more help.
Other questions?
You asked, sir.
We will continue looking at that, but, again, I don't think additional security would be
Mr. Chavira?
the answer.
I think, we try to convey to, I think, is that maybe those kids need to be more supervised, that something needs to be a little strict. Let me just give an example. I have to compare. When I went to the 7th and 8th grade campus, and when the kid goes out there to suspension, they don't talk to anybody. They're in the cubicle type of thing. And maybe what we need out there is something a little more stronger, more disciplined, where the kid can stay in one place, they don't talk to anybody, type of thing. I don't really know. I think that's what Mr. Mesa is trying to say, because the kid gets in trouble while he's out there, he's more open. And then go up into that place, we're depending on that kid to be straightened out, not to cause any more problems. And the only way he's gonna be is to be more supervised, a little stronger.
We do have that area, which is the in-school suspension, okay? But right now, we're limited as to the space that we have, because we do have a classroom that is designated as a ISS, in-school suspension. But right now, we're using it to house an elementary student right now. And we can't use that to get the student that needs to be, isolated. That has been taken away from us. And it's been,
Yeah, it's gotta be, in other words, that where they can be isolated to a point where they don't
No,
want to
I
go
know.
out there anymore.
that can be.
May I speak up
Yes, go
and say
ahead.
something? We've been looking at, and discussing all of these things that you're talking about. We also have found a place to move the student that's from the elementary to another elementary, which will be supervised. And we are looking into some of those things, and we're also looking into the different lengths of stay and revising some things for next year. Dr. McNamara's been working on that, Dr. Garza, Mr. Salinas, myself, we've all been working on that. We've talked with the principals, we've met with Mr. Menchaca, so we are working on it.
Good. And I know in the past, some personnel has visited, like San Angelo, for example, that they have an outstanding area where they sent these students, and that doesn't happen. I think several administrators have visited. There are, things that can be done to prevent
And there's
those.
a very good Duncanville ISD in the 90s was one of the best. I had, Dr. McNamara has checked with them. We're going to be looking at various.
And it's not just discipline that I'm concerned with, because attendance is affected at every campus, because if it's not monitored there, then you don't take the hit that they do.
I know.
So all those things come into play.
Mr. Mesa, Mr. Garabedian, and Dr. Ackerman, Dr. Barrera wants to say something. She is the supervisor of Mr. Menchaca.
Mr. Mesa, the points that you just brought up, we're very well aware of them. We've had several discussions and dialogue with Dr. Ackerman. Mr. Menchaca does attend our weekly administrator meetings as well, and we're looking at something, more, because I think, exactly, we're concerned about the discipline, the attendance, but more importantly, we're concerned with the instruction, and because these kids will still be taking the EOC test, and they will also be taking TACS, some of them, and so there are very few students that are actually high school students, but they're still testing, and so the concerns that you have, Dr. Ackerman has visited with me specifically, and we're trying to, coordinate with Mr. Menchaca and with his staff so that we can target and not have those kids having to be suspended additionally because they can't afford it. And we totally understand what you're getting to.
Thank you.
Okay. And Josh, you had a question, but is it like that? No? Okay.
Other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to item H, campus highlights. Dr. Garza presenting.
Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board, we go from that to highlights. We're going to reverse it. We're going to start with high school this time. Our principals are here. If you want to ask them any questions on any of the highlights here, they're here to answer them. These are the good things that are happening at our schools. At Del Rio High School, we had the boys and the girls basketball team make the playoffs. Our boys are playing tomorrow. Our UIL team is getting ready for district. They have first place in sweepstakes in San Antonio Southwest. They continuing with morning and after school tutorials Tuesday, Thursday for TACS and EOC 7 through 8 a.m. and also in the after school 4 to 5. 37 students were Adobe Associate Certified, Flash CS5. Ruben Cardenas and I am not going to be able to pronounce his name. What? Jay Rees Garcia attended President Obama's inauguration and ball. And we continue with our participation with Texas A&M. E12 participation continues. Del Rio Freshman School, January highlights. Oh my goodness. He has a lot of them. I tell them 3 and they give me all these. Del Rio Freshman parents for all honor roll students receive a letter congratulating them for their commitment to helping their students succeed in education. The math department presented a parent meeting on strategies to help children succeed in Algebra 1. They have a very innovative intervention plan there that has been implemented. I think they started 2 weeks ago. An effort to kick off National Family Career Community Leaders of America Week. Students are bringing awareness about childhood hunger to our staff and students. Each student from our own freshman FCCLA chapter is advancing to state. Salma Chavez placed first in her event. John David Perez, Sofia Gaitan, and Abigail Hervey all placed second in their event. And Jacob Garza, Amanda Sotelo, and Eva Salazar placed third. Congratulations to all of them. The Kate freshman student, Priscilla Pice, was nominated as the CTE Student of the Month. Priscilla is enrolled in the Principles of Engineering class and a member of the Robotics FRC team. Congratulations to our tennis team for their 6th place finish out of 19 teams that competed at the Uvalde Invitational Tennis Tournament. Freshman members who competed and earned top 10 honors were Chavira Rosales, Natalia Trevino in boys and girls singles, Toby Coggins, Oscar Rubio, and Haiti Cawthorn in boys and girls doubles. Great job to the tennis team. San Felipe Lions donated an iPad to raffle for students who had perfect attendance for the semester. Congratulations to them. Del Rio Middle School UIL competition at Legacy Middle School, January 19th. They placed first. That's right, good job. UIL competitions at Scobie Middle School, January 26th. Del Rio Middle School won first place again. Tournament of Champions at McNair Middle School on February 16th. Robotics team who won Judges Award at Roosevelt High School on January 26th. Our middle school students competed against high school students. San Felipe Memorial, UIL first place overall points at Legacy Middle School. 36 out of 40 students qualified for Tournament of Champions. Sixth grade robotics team placed 9 out of 30 teams. First year, San Felipe Memorial has a robotics team. UIL first place overall points, Scobie Middle School. Certificate awarded to San Felipe Memorial Middle School for outstanding performance and dedication to the South Texas Academic and Literary League. Oh my goodness. The No Place for Hate Club continues to have monthly activities which promote anti-bullying and anti-discriminatory themes. North Heights Elementary, home of the Chiefs. Judy Knight, third grade reading team, has come in and helped them out. Matt Ford, third grade Math Academy. Student Council presentation for School Board Appreciation. Parental Make and Take, and North Heights Campus Fair took place. Lonnie Green, Student Council Campus-wide trash pickup. Student Council participation in the 5K run walk to benefit Muscular Dystrophy Association. Recognition of our accelerated readers, Bookaroos. Recognition of our math roundup, Wranglers. Recognition of student displaying outstanding character traits with off-the-chart badge. Recognition of our perfect attendance roundup, Campus Science Fair held on January 23rd for students in grades K 2nd and on January 24th for students in grades 3 through 5th. Participation in Laughlin African American History Art Contest and the Water Utilities Association Art Contest. Participation in all district elementary choir strings music winter programs at Paul Pope Theater on December 18th. Campus award assemblies in which students are recognized with awards for character, attendance, grades, and behavior. And dental screenings for third grade students. Lamar Elementary. Lamar Elementary. Surprise. Best attendance in the district for the third 6 weeks. And of course, best attendance in the district for first semester. I don't know if you heard them back here being very competitive. When they showed the January, everyone was saying, January, what happened to Lamar? And they said, oh, it was only January. Over 160 students entries for the Campus Science Fair.
Very good.
Garfield Elementary. On January 8th, 22 teachers participated in staff development by Region 15, strategic questions and formative assessments. On January 22nd, second semester begins with our new motto, Empowering Kids to Succeed, focusing on college and career readiness. Every Wednesday will be College T-shirt Day. On January 23rd, school-wide career fair, Dress as Your Future Career. Students at Garfield Elementary interviewed over 30 community business booths and had the opportunity to interview community business representatives. On January 29th, Campus Science Fair, over 400 students in grades K-5 participated in Campus Science Fair. Students competed their science board and were also interviewed by judges from the community. Empowering kids to succeed. Ruben Chavira Elementary. Stuco presented school board members with gifts, baskets for school board appreciation. We had a 5th grade graduation picture. We had class pictures. They also had the Campus Science Fair. 26 members of the community came to judge our projects. 20 students advanced in district competition. Youth Power Meeting, Officer Mark Guerra and Richard Roman from Del Rio Police encourage Ruben Chavira students to remain drug-free and bully-free. Mrs. Kelly Lujan and Mrs. Marta Galindo were both selected to participate in the Earth System Science for elementary teachers and will be representing the school at Angelo State University this summer. Calderon Elementary, Region 15, Teachers Professional Development, Formative Assessment, and Instructional Coaching ongoing. Campus Science Fair and ongoing programs, Book It. Reading Incentive Program from Pizza Hut, Spellbound Incentive Program from Mr. Gaddy's, and Accelerated Reader. Buena Vista Elementary, Campus Science Fair was held on January 29th for K through 2nd and January 30th for 3rd through 5th. Parental meeting January 31st at Buena Vista, Motivating Your Child. And Buena Vista had 263 students with perfect attendance for the first semester. Buena Vista thanks Del Rio High School intern students for being part of our family and wishes them the best in their future. And that's you. Thank you for your continued support. And we are a team going for excellence.
Mr. Overfeld has a question.
It's more of a comment, and it's going to be a brag and stuff like that. Del Rio Middle School, when you're talking about Del Rio Middle School and UIL, and I'll include San Felipe Memorial Middle School in there too, mister. As a former middle school teacher and UIL coach, those numbers there, first place every time we went to competition, that's kind of a tradition at Del Rio Middle School, is taking nothing less than first place. And you have to understand, and I wish they were here, the coaches and Miss Martinez and them, 80 plus kids every weekend on 2 buses to San Antonio the night before, and then going in and competing all day long, and then coming back late on Saturdays. It's a testament of dedication to our staff and teachers and UIL coaches there. Not only do we dominate on the athletic fields there, but we dominate on the academic field. And I heard it firsthand. We would walk in, you have 80 plus students walk into a cafeteria all wearing the same Del Rio Middle and San Felipe Memorial Middle School shirts, and you hear it from the other teams. Well, Del Rio's here. It's over. And stuff. So we are known all over this region for our academics, and I wanted to brag about that and thank them for everything that they do, because I know what was involved, because I did it for 4 years.
Mr. Ramos, you want to comment on that?
We did great at the Tournament of Champions. Wait
Yes.
till you get the next highlights. You'll see how well we did.
Awesome. Thank you for continuing that up.
Mr. Chavira has
Yes,
comments.
and I want to congratulate all of you principals. You're doing a wonderful job. I was 2 weeks ago, last Friday, this past Friday, I went over to see the CTE program, and it was wonderful. I was very impressed by it. Where's back here? I mean, it was super. I went over to the freshman, had to go up there to drop some medication, and I saw the halls were super clean. I tell you, it was wonderful. And the reason I'm saying that, I went over to the 6th grade campus, and they had a contest up there, signs, and it was wonderful. There's a lot of things that are going on. We just don't celebrate them enough to let the community know that we're doing such a great job. Because, and I hear some comments of people saying this and that, but they ought to go out there on a daily basis and check our students, and it all due to you people working together and helping our students. So my congratulations to you. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up.
Thank you, Mr. Chavira. There is one thing that you will see from the CTE department, and it goes with marketing. He is doing his best to try to make sure that he markets everything that's at the high school and also at the middle school, to make sure that the community knows what we have out there. Mr. Overveld, you are very correct. Those kids in middle school, I am so glad that they prepare them because it shows at the high school. You will notice that our kids are also feared, especially at this district that we're in, because here comes Del Rio, and they know that we're the competitors.
Yes, sir.
It's not united anymore in Alexander by themselves, it's us. So it helps when they prepare them at the middle school.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item 5I, E-rate application status for funding year 2012-13. Mr. Casillas presenting.
Hello once again, Mr. Garfield, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board. I wanted to just give you an update on the E-rate application that we submitted in December, because it coincides with a bid presentation that will become part of one of the consent items that Mrs. Johnson is submitting to you. But the E-rate application that we submit year after year involves two phases. Priority 1, which is the connectivity for the internet and long distance, and Priority 2, which involves funding for new equipment, switches, routers, hubs, and those type of equipment at the campus level, not at the district level. So we did submit an application based on campuses that meet the threshold for the funding. And so hopefully this year we will get approval. And if that is the case, then it's probably a little bit over $3 million that we would bring to the district in being able to set up new equipment. So really that's about what we have as an update. And we should be receiving notification probably by this summer, but it could extend all the way to September. It just depends on the funding, and it depends on how much money is available and which districts are approved, so we just kind of have to wait and see.
Questions? Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Information item 5J, IRB, Institutional Review Board for Renee Trevino Zimmerman, presenter Dr. Sally Zuniga Barrera.
Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, and school board members, Darrell High School has been asked to participate in Renee Trevino Zimmerman's proposed study for her dissertation requirements at the University of Texas in San Antonio. The title of her project is Perceptions of the Rural Latin at High School, addressing issues concerning higher education access. She is proposing to interview 2 to 5 pre-selected junior or senior students who fit the selection criteria. She understands that these interviews can only be conducted once written consent from the parent or guardian of the student is received. Are there any questions?
Questions?
In the study, it won't be identified as Del Rio High School. She has it West High School, North High School, East High School. She's from Uvalde. She's a teacher there. It's about a 30 to 45-minute interview. There's some criteria. It has to be a student at a high school. It has to be a junior or senior student who is socioeconomically disadvantaged and also first college generation student.
And it will not take away from the academic time, correct?
No, we would most likely try to do it maybe during their elective, or maybe have the student come in maybe a little bit before school or after school, or tag it on maybe during their lunchtime. And it would also be at the discretion of what the parent thinks, and it'll depend also on that student's schedule.
Other questions about this?
I think I have one.
lateral research?
I read through it, and I think the only thing I would like to see is the outcome, the important points that she found out after the study.
And that could be fine. We could definitely provide that to y'all.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity that the topic is excellent because it's, something that's welcome. I think, she's trying to figure out how many.
Exactly. And she'll be coordinating too, Mr. Mesa, with our college and career readiness counselor, S.F.D.R.C.I.S.D. And so, no, her questions are wonderful. I think it's going to be a good study, but we can get you that information also.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Other comments? Okay, information item 5K, information on changing the sequence of social studies courses taught at freshman school, world history to world geography. In high school, 10th grade, World Geography to World History, presenter Dr. Garza, Dr. Zuniga Barrera, and Ms. Aide Garcia.
Mr. Gabedian, Dr. Ackerman, members of the board, we wanted to inform you that we want to change the sequence of courses offered at 9th grade and also 10th grade. A little history on this. I don't know how many years ago, we did not have the composite teachers to teach world history at freshmen. That's why we had the teacher, to teach world geography at freshmen in comparison to 9th grade. At this time, we do. But more importantly, it's going to be beneficial for the students, because if everything goes to plan, well, let's just say everything stays the same. World history is going to help that child better with U.S. history at their junior year. Right now, we have it opposite. And when I started looking at the data, you see that letter right there, 92% of the students in the state take world geography first, and then world history. So we're opposite that. So I think it's going to be beneficial for the student, not only because everyone in the state is doing it, but because it's going to help them with the U.S. history on their junior year. World geography first, world history, and then U.S. history. And there has been some conversations from the principals to the teachers. I don't know if you want to ask them that.
Questions? Makes sense to me. I taught world geography 20 years ago at Del Rio High School. Makes sense. World geography to world history to U.S. history. Mr. Overfill, makes sense to you?
Makes sense to me, as a teacher of history.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, would we roll this starting next year?
Yes, it's in the planning phase right now. So we would have world geography at freshman, but also at 10th grade, because those students, yes. And we've done this before with science about 7, 8 years ago.
Thank you.
Information item 5L, information on safety and security. Presenter, Dr. Joanne Rourke Ackerman.
Thank you, Mr. Garabedian. I wanted to bring some items. Is Chief Haynes still out in the foyer? Would you please have him come in? Chief Haynes attended an emergency preparedness planning workshop in Comstock last week, and I wanted him to tell you about that.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, board members, and Dr. Ackerman. Hope y'all feeling good tonight. Sound like you are. I attended this workshop in Comstock. It's very informative, very informative. The emphasis was put on really on the first responders and what are their jobs and what actions they're going to take. I did visit with the superintendent of schools up there. He has 185 kids. And I think that whole school is about the size of this building. And that's it. I'm just joking on that. But with 185 students compared to a little over 10,000 here, you can understand not the simpleness, but I guess what I'm trying to say, since it's a rural school, you can understand what they have, the concern they have, and who they can depend on to respond. Here in Del Rio, the good thing about us, we have multiple agencies. And I'm planning on getting with all the agencies here pretty soon to see what they can bring to the table, what they can help us with. But this workshop was very informative, especially on the law enforcement side. And I appreciate Dr. Ackerman letting me go to it because it did open my eyes. Are there any questions?
And some of the people that participated in that?
Yes, there were, well, let's put it this way. There was the Border Patrol, there was the Sheriff's Office, because that's in the county. And they had EMS from Val Verde County. They had the Val Verde County Fire Department. Everyone brought ideas and everyone had discussions on what they could offer to the district. And as I repeated myself, I'll repeat myself again, that's what I want to do here. We all need to be, as law enforcement personnel and first responders, we all need to be on the same sheet of paper.
Ms. Lozano?
Do you, Chief, do you have a timeline for when you would like to at least?
Yes, I had talked to, in fact, I met with the sheriff as he was going out of town. And I will be shooting him an email probably tomorrow or the next day. And so that he can get all the agencies involved in this and give me a date where we can meet at his office, because he's got the biggest room, and meet there and we can discuss this, what we're planning on doing. And I would invite Dr. Ackerman so she can see what we're doing, what we're trying to bring to this district.
Dr. Ackerman, I'd just like to personally thank you for taking the lead on this. I mean, I think you're aware of how important the protection of our students and employees are. So thank you for taking the initiative, and Chief Haynes, thank you for helping in that.
I'm thanking Chief Haynes for bringing that up. I wanted him to report to you what he's doing, and then I wanted to tell you some of the things that I'm looking into as well. At the TASA Midwinter Conference, I attended 2 safety sessions, and one was the Texas School Center, Texas School Safety Center. And it was really interesting to me how much emphasis they placed on ongoing training, and then drilling, and then ongoing training, and then drilling, and then ongoing training and drilling, and then the MOUs with the various units in your community. And there was just a lot of things that they brought to light. They have had free training in the past. They have, this year they had free training at region centers. They've already had the free training at our region center. And then I had an invitation from the S.F.D.R.C.I.S.D Management, and I was really excited about going to that, and that's March 1st. And it covers the safety issues as far as the legal, the policies, the coverage, the legislative, the security, the law enforcement, and the emergency management. Betty went to register me, and it was full. It was closed. So hopefully that we will be able to get more information on that. But safety and security is so important. Parents entrust their students or children with us, and we need to make sure that things are safe. And so one thing that it became very evident to me from talking with the Texas School Center Safety Center, that you need a person full-time devoted to emergency planning. Planning, training, drilling, that is a full-time job. And if somebody else is trying to do it, it just doesn't work. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be requesting. And I just wanted you to know that we think it's important, and we're looking into it.
Thank you for that report. Questions? And thank you, Chief Haynes, for following up with Buddy Wolfenbarger out there in Comstock. I communicated with him by email over the last several weeks, and I didn't get a chance to go, but be interested in getting with you, and you can tell me some more when you have some time. So I'm glad y'all are doing that. And same with Dr. Ackerman, moving forward on the whole security initiative is really important. It's got to be a very large approach, very holistic approach. It encompasses multiple facets, and I especially like the idea of this dedicated individual to the emergency operations manager. So I think that's also in the right direction. Hopefully we'll see that in the near future.
All of this is kind of a follow-up to all of the meetings that I've had. Mr. Salinas and Chief Haynes and I have met with each individual principal and talking about the safety issues on their campus. And we're in the process of doing other things as far as at the campuses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Chief.
Okay. Information item 5M, just kind of a recap. We did this last month. Dr. Garza, could you do me a favor and go to the colleges, the district's homepage. Last month, regular meeting, we did this, just kind of an update. Everybody should know by now, all of our application packet posting was here on the college's website. I keep saying college, the district's website, the district's website, sorry, the district's website. The deadline, as you know, was last Friday. So, the timeline that we set in the near future will be meeting to screen applicants and interviews and all of the follow-up. So that's where the process is. Remember, it was advertised on the TASA website, Region 15, Texas Street, Texas ISD. Sent those brochures. I think all the brochures are gone. I didn't see any in the foyer. Sent all those brochures out to 25, 30 large districts around the state. So we're at the point where now we get to move forward in the process and see where it leads us. When we gave this update last month, I think we were about halfway through to the deadline. So we're past that point. So that'll be coming soon. Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Garza. It's about 7:35, and we are on the consent portion of the agenda. For item 6, consent A, consideration to approve minutes of the following meetings: January 21st, 2013, regular school board meeting, and January 31st, 2013, special called workshop. Does any board member wish to pull any item from the consent A agenda for discussion? No? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda A? Ms. Lozano has motion, Mr. Chavira has second. All in favor by a show of hands? Unanimous, motion carries. That brings us to consent B. Does any board member wish to pull any item from the consent agenda B for discussion? Mr. Overfeld, what would you like to discuss?
I'd like to pull M, payment purchase order.
Okay. Consideration to approve payment of purchase order over $25,000 to Dell in the approximate amount of $99,947.75 to purchase the additional storage array network. Questions?
No, I think a comment. Just wanted to make, because I had a question also on that one, and I actually highlighted two of them. But as I read through the item, it mentioned where the funding was coming from, and that's something that I hadn't seen in the past, and whether it's budgeted or not, and I think that's makes a big difference for me. So I just wanted to say thank you.
That's what I was gonna discuss, is what it was gonna be for.
Okay. Anything else to be pulled for discussion?
I'd
Ms.
like to just,
Lozano?
if I may, make a comment on, is it the same one? N?
Josh, I think you still need some more information, right?
I just wanted to say thank you for placing that very important purchase order on the agenda and getting that done. Dr. Ackerman, thank you.
Item N. N, yes. It's a long time coming.
Much needed.
It's been about a year, actually. And
Over a year, sir.
We're gonna fix it tonight.
Thank you.
So are we good?
On M for the 99,000, can Mr. Casillas explain what it's gonna go for?
Back to the podium, Mr. Casillas.
Good evening, once again. Yes, sir. The request for purchase here is something that is planned, and 4 years ago, we built up the storage array in conjunction to the project that we did on the virtual environment, and that was good to go for probably 4 to 5 years. Well, here we are in the middle of year 4, and we are already out of storage space for the files that we use. And it had a very positive consequence in the sense that since we're using the virtual environment, the students and the teachers are saving their files on servers, which are then backed up. And so typically when files and documents were saved on computer drives and they crashed, well, pretty much you lost what you had. Well, now that they are saving them to servers, then basically they're more secure. And so 4 years, 4.5 years down the line, we are planning on growing to the elementary level with more computers and other terminal services. And so we're planning for hopefully another 4 years with this storage array. Now, there is other technology out there that's available, and that made it very competitive. I think if you see, previously Mrs. Valdez had put that we paid $261,000 for the original storage array, and even though we're buying less equipment, nevertheless, it's in essence the same equipment there for less than $100,000. So the competition has made it that much better, and also the technology is even better. So I think this is something that we need, and in order for us to continue.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, Mr. Casillas? Okay, thank you.
So it goes back in. Do I need to read the recommendation?
That's on consent.
Okay.
We're good? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the items on consent agenda B? And I so move. Mrs. Lozano has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous, motion carries. That brings us to discussion action items. Number 8, consideration to approve submittal of applications for a S.F.D.R.C.I.S.D Management Fund Loss Preventive Grant. Laura English presenting.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, and board members. Ms. English is at the TASBO conference. She left this afternoon after our health insurance meeting, so I'll be presenting on her behalf. Every year, TASB allows us the TASB Risk Management allows districts the opportunity to submit a grant for opportunities to reduce losses and raise awareness in safety issues. The max you can submit is $4,000, and this year, with your approval, we'll be submitting under the category of fall prevention, and this would be to be focused on with the food service and custodial staff. Do you have any questions?
You have questions on this one or discussion? No? Okay, the recommendation.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the submittal of the application for Risk Management Fund Loss Prevention Grant and for the interim superintendent to sign.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Overfelt is motion, Ms. Haynes seconds. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous, motion carries.
Thank you.
Brings us to 8B, consideration to approve agreement with Mole Ranch for the 5th grade Gifted and Talented Students Environmental Leadership Program. Presenter, Patricia Brown.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Ackerman, board members. I come to you tonight to ask your consideration to approve an agreement with the MO Ranch for the 5th grade Gifted and Talented Students Environmental Leadership Program. The 5th grade students from the district's Gifted and Talented program will attend this environmental leadership program at the MO Ranch in Hunt, Texas from May 2nd through May 3rd. The 5th grade GT students have been attending the MO Ranch for their GT trip for quite a few years. The agreement includes accommodations, meals, scheduled activities, specialized equipment, and lifeguards, and must be signed and returned to reserve the date. It is budgeted in the general fund GT budget at each campus. Are there any questions?
Is it an overnight trip?
Yes, it is an overnight trip.
approximately how many students are able to take that trip?
We normally have a little bit under 100, usually 90, some. Most all of the fifth grade students do go. This is something that they look forward to from the very beginning they get into GT. They know the fifth grade trip is overnight. They get to go and learn leadership skills, team building activities, and they really look forward to it.
Great, thank you.
It sounds really good. I mean, it seems like a really nice opportunity.
It really is, and this is paid for out of the state GT money that we do get from the state allocated for the number of GT students we have in our district.
Any questions? Okay, the recommendation.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approves for the interim superintendent to sign the agreement and authorization of payment to MO Ranch as presented.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Chavira's motion, Mr. Messa's second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Before we move on, I forgot to recognize our donors. So if you will bear with me, good thing I saw it. It was buried under the paper. Just take a moment. That was part of the consent item. We always recognize our donors. These were the donations under consent B. There was a monetary donation from Life Touch in the amount of $2,229.74 donated to Buena Vista Elementary. There was a monetary donation from Life Touch in the amount of $1,201.02 donated to Ruben, Chavira Elementary. There was a monetary donation from Target Corporation, Take Charge of Education, in the amount of $69.78 to Ruben, Chavira Elementary. There was a donation from the San Felipe Lions Club in the amount of $400 to Del Rio Freshman School. There was a donation from Dan and Susan Newsom in the amount of $100 to the Del Rio High School Choir. A monetary donation from Life Touch in the amount of $1,040.03 donated to the Del Rio High School Student Council. A monetary donation from Recycle America Alliance LLC in the amount of $6 donated to Buena Vista Elementary. And finally, there was a non-monetary donation from John Reed. It was button kits valued at $59 donated Del Rio Middle School Robotics. So we thank all of those individuals and groups that donated to the district's students and programs. Now we're back to agenda item 8C. Consideration to approve the second reading of revisions to GE local policy. Mr. Salinas was scheduled to present, but I believe Ms. Valdez is presenting.
Okay, good evening again. This is the second reading for GE Local, and this is to provide guidelines for our booster organizations and parent-teacher organizations. And from January's board meeting, when we presented the first reading to this meeting, we did add, or there was a section that was added, and it's under fundraising and financial hardship and notice of fundraising activities. Those were the sections that were added, and there was a few revisions in between, but those were the new sections that were added.
They're completely new sections?
They were added into the additions, into the policy, yes. It was just additional additional guidelines within this policy.
Mr. Overfield?
Bonfire thing there? That's not gonna preclude our bonfire, is it? That's only if they wanna have bonfires?
Right, this complete
It's just for
policy is
them.
for relations with parent organizations, yes. Are there any questions?
Questions or comments, discussion? The recommendation.
Okay. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the second reading of revisions to GE local policy as presented.
For the recommendation, is there a motion? Mr. Overfield has motion, Mr. Chavira has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item D, Mr. Hoffer, our legal counsel, and I spoke earlier. Item D is being moved to closed session, so it'll be under 9B. That's where it belongs, under 551.072, discussion of purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. It is merely a discussion and consideration. There will be no action, but it does belong under closed session under 9B, so that's where it will be.
Okay.
Questions? Okay. All right. That brings us now to item 9, closed session. It is now 8:50 PM, February the 18th, 2013. The board will now recess this open session and convene in a closed meeting in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D and E.
7:50, sir.
Is it 7:50? I'm sorry. Let me try that again. It's the clock and the light. All right, let me try it again. It is now 7:50 PM.
Wow.
February the 18th, 2013. The board will now recess this open session and convene in a closed meeting according to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D and E. We do that under 551.071, with the first item being private consultation with the board's attorney regarding pending legal issues, and 2, discussion of personnel and consideration of recommendation to terminate term contract teacher. Also, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, with the 1 being consideration to approve new hires, new assignments, district vacancies, and reassignments. And 2, closed session discussion pursuant to 551.074 concerning interim superintendent's performance goals, informative/interim evaluation of interim superintendent, and E 551.076, F 551.082, and G 551.084. All final votes, actions, or decisions will be taken in open meeting. We're now in closed session. Okay, it's now 9:55 PM, February 18th, 2013. The board will now reconvene in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D and E. No action was taken in closed session. So now that we are reconvened into open session, that brings us to agenda item 11, discussion action items. Item A, consideration to approve new hires, new assignments, district vacancies, and reassignments. Dr. McNamara presenting.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, members of the board, and Dr. Ackerman. The administration at this time recommends Ms. Laura K. Langton for 5th grade teacher in North Heights Elementary School.
We've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion? Mr. Mesa has motion. Mr. Chavira has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
It brings us to agenda item 11B, consider and take possible action on recommendation to terminate employment of term contract teacher. We've had a chance to discuss this in closed session. Legal counsel, Dr. Ackerman, do you have a recommendation for the board?
Yes, sir. It is my recommendation that the Board of Trustees terminate for cause the term contract of Ruben Vasquez as discussed in closed session.
Okay, we've heard Dr. Ackerman's recommendation to the board. Is there a motion? Mr. Overfill.
Mr. President, I move to accept the interim superintendent's recommendation and to propose termination of Ruben Vasquez's multi-year term contract, and further move that the record of this action reflect the following. Before voting on this motion, the board considered a draft of the letter to Mr. Vasquez proposing the termination of his employment, and the interim superintendent reviewed with the board the reason or reasons for making her recommendations regarding the proposed termination, and the board considered the reason or reasons and any other information provided by the interim superintendent, and that by passage of this motion, the board directs the interim superintendent to prepare the board president's for the board president's signature a final notice of proposed termination of employment for Ruben Vasquez, and ensure that the notice is delivered upon the employee. directs that the notice of proposed termination of employment include the time limitations and procedures for requesting a hearing before an independent hearing examiner, and directs the board president to notify Schulman, Lopez, and Hoffer LLP of this action, and requests that if appropriate, their office be authorized to contact and retain an independent attorney on behalf of the board to advise the board concerning legal matters upon receipt of a recommendation from an independent hearing examiner. Authorizes Schulman, Lopez, and Hoffer LLP to consult with the interim superintendent to approve the final notice of proposed termination of employment and to take whatever actions are necessary and proper to present the case in support of the proposed termination, and directs that a copy of this motion be attached to the minutes of the meeting and the final notice of proposed termination of employment be sent to Ruben Vasquez.
Okay, we've heard the recommendation, and there's been the motion by Mr. Overfelt. Is there a second? Mr. Chavira has second. All in favor? Show of hands. It's unanimous. Motion carries. Brings us to agenda item 12. Being no further business before this board, is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Overfelt has motion. Ms. Haynes has second. All in favor by a show of hands. Unanimous. Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned.